Hi guys, how you doing? It's a lovely Saturday morning. My name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome all subscribers. Welcome new. If you like my channel, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 8:42 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday the 7th of January.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
In Rochester, it's 9 degrees Celsius with cloudy skies. Today, you can expect rainy weather, with a high of 11 degrees and a low of 7 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do you call a funny lizard? A stand-up comedian.
These are cute jokes, some of them, aren't they? I don't know where she gets them from, but I've loved jokes all my life since I was a kid. And when I was a kid, I liked Halloween jokes about ghosts. Then you get older and you like rude jokes, don't you? And the lots of jokes. I love jokes. I always have done. Right, so I'm having a cup of coffee in my Winnie the Pooh cup. And when I was a little girl, I loved Winnie the Pooh. And A.A. Milne, the books were by, and I absolutely loved Winnie the Pooh, collected anything to do with Winnie the Pooh. And also around that era was the Wombles. The Wombles, Orinoco, Madame Chalet, Wellington, the Wombles of Wimbledon Common, going around collecting the rubbish, and Uncle Bulgaria. I just loved the Wombles. It was mainly the Wombles when I was at school in the 70s. I was born in 1968. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. Mainly in the 70s, but a quarter of the 80s I was still a kid. And I did love the Wombles, and I did love Winnie the Pooh. So I don't think as adults we ever forget what we liked as a child. And, you know, I still like the things I liked as a kid, and I would love to get hold of a Womble. Because on birthday cakes, I don't know if anybody remembers, they had like the ceramic Wombles. So you could put like cake decorations on your birthday cake. And I went to this girl's birthday party, and she had all the Wombles on her birthday cake. These really, they made things in those days. They were really thick Wombles on her birthday cake. And I remember, because I could get hold of like the common ones, Orinoco, maybe Wellington, but getting hold of the rest of them could be quite difficult. It's like collecting cards, football cards and trading cards. There's always some that are rare, aren't they, and you can't get hold of. So I've always loved the Wombles of Wimbledon Common. I just miss Top of the Pops. I used to love Top of the Pops on the telly with all the songs, and the radio presenters would introduce the new groups and the songs. I think it was more personal in those days. Now it's all listen to it on the internet, isn't it? There's no seeing the pop stars on the telly so much now. It's looking at the internet, watching the internet. Right, so I've got up this morning. My mum rang about 8:30-ish, telling me that she, Jennifer, didn't feel physically very well. Not mentally, physically. I will say that I didn't have a really good night last night. I could just hear background noises. I was I was sat down trying to watch Kramer versus Kramer on telly, and it's a film where there's no music. It's like talking. It's a film that was made in 1979 about a couple battling for custody of the boy. And I was trying to watch that, and it was quite quiet because it's all talking, and the DVD wasn't coming across the television set very loud, and I could just hear what sounded like footsteps coming from somewhere. And I don't know about anybody else, but when you're trying to concentrate on something and you can hear a noise, it's irritating. So I then put the radio on really low to cover up what sounded like footsteps from somewhere. I don't know where they were coming from, because this is a building which the slightest noise echoes everywhere. You can hear it, so I don't know where it was coming from. And I put the radio on in the background to try and cover it up. So I was watching the TV and trying to listen to what they were saying, like miming, with a bit of Virgin Radio going on. Then I put an episode of The Professionals on, and what I thought was like footsteps stopped, and then I was able to go to bed. But it is a very echoey building. I think you can hear noises from the third floor as well, or someone coming down the communal stairs. It is really echoey in this flat. So I made my cup of tea. I tried that egg mayonnaise last night and it stinks. You open the fridge up and all you can smell is egg. Really strong egg smell. Today outside, I don't think it's raining. So we go have a look out the window. Now the ground is dry. It doesn't look particularly warm, but the ground is dry. So guys, it's a matter of taking Max out for a walk, and I went out shopping yesterday. I thought my mum was very ill. She seems to have got better. She says she doesn't feel well physically, but she sounds better than she did yesterday morning. I don't like speaking on the phone for ages because I've got this funny tooth. It's the tooth, and I know it is. There's a root that's coming out of the gum, and all it needs is the gum putting over the root. And to have that done is hundreds of pounds, and I can't afford it. So every time a noise, the tooth gets irritated. It's the root. It's very sensitive, so I've covered it with sensitive toothpaste this morning. I've got my Corsadil mouthwash, and it's just a matter of putting up with it. But when I came back yesterday from going to the shops down Rochester High Street, as I was approaching the ladies' toilet, because I wanted to go to the toilet, some builders just drilled for about 5 minutes, and as I walked past these workmen near the ladies' toilets in Rochester, they drilled as I walked past, and it was a pneumatic drill, and it was really loud, and it was in my bad ear, this one. I went into the toilet and I stuffed my ear with like a bit of cotton wool. I put cotton wool in my ear, and because they were drilling while I was in the ladies' toilet as well. When I came out of the toilet, they stopped, but just a loud drilling noise like that will set off the pain in my jaw. So I don't know what they was drilling for about 3 minutes for, and then they stopped and I never heard it again. I remember when I first moved in and somebody smashed the firebox to the building, and it was really, really loud. It was about 1 or 2 in the morning, and the noise was so loud, it actually started my neuralgic pain off, and I had to cope with that for about 2 months before it went away. The sound of smashing, breaking glass, really loud. It's about 1, 2 in the morning, and it got fixed eventually. But it just takes a really, really loud noise to trigger it off. But what I'm going to do now is go out with earplugs in my ear. Earplugs, and that should stop it. You see, it doesn't make me angry. It hurts. It hurts. That's all it does. It hurts. It doesn't annoy me. It hurts. And it's like when you an electric shock, right? So that's the pain I get. So if the pain starts, it's like being electrocuted. It's not a nice feeling, and it doesn't make me run to anybody. I don't need anybody's help. I've learned to cope with it. You know, I don't need anybody. People haven't really helped me anyway. They've made things worse, you see. So I'm not going to run for help if I get this pain. I'm just going to cope with it. A couple of painkillers, whatever. Because it just seems I keep seeing versions of my son's car going down the road. And he's moved to London and he needs to live his life. And the trains aren't running again today anyway. I can't hear them. It's about 3 or 4 days the trains have been on strike now, because me and my son were discussing when I was going to go up there to see him, because he can't afford to come down and see me apparently, because that white car he had has been sold. He hasn't got it anymore. My son had been coming down to me on the train, because he said that as well, that the parking fees and the charges in London if you've got a car are extortionate, so it was better not to have a car up there. So I haven't got a car. I've never learnt to drive, and I don't think I want to. The scary tales I've been told about people having cars, they look nice, but they cost a fortune to run, and you know, they at some point, even the most tidy running car will need some repair to it, and it's just not worth it in my opinion. If you've got kids, yeah, but there's just me, so I don't need a car anyway. Right guys, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. I've got to take Max for a walk. I'm completely on my own now. There's no one interfering or telling me what to do or anything like that. So I can do what I like, and I'm quite happy being my own person. See you later.